I'm going to explain the problem-solving method when you have a word problem and you want to write an equation and solve that equation to find the answer. So here are the 6 steps. I'll show you these 6 steps in a few examples. My first example, the sum of 3 consecutive numbers is 30. Find the smallest integer. Consecutive means in a row, so that could be the numbers 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, so on. Sum means addition. There's keywords in a word problem that help you identify what mathematical operations you'll use for that word problem. So I'm trying to find what's the smallest of those 3 integers. So I define my variable. I tell which math operations I'll be using by the key terms in the question. And then I write an equation that represents the problem. And you'll see my variable, you'll see the sum, you'll see an equal sign, and then I simplify and solve that equation to get the variable by itself, so I can then explain what the answer is to the problem. I then use substitution to check my work. So I substitute my answer into the original equation and see, does the left side of the equation equal the right side? If it does, my answer is correct, and it does in fact work. And then I explain in a sentence what my answer is. Here's another example. The difference here is that it's consecutive odd numbers, like the numbers 9, 11, 13, or 1, 3, 5. So 3 odd numbers in a row that they sum to 39. And I'm trying to find the middle number this time. So my variable is the middle number. I know I'll still be using addition. I write an equation that represents it. You'll notice the difference here is that I have the middle integer of x. The next odd number is plus 2 more. If you think of this 11 to 13, that means you would add 2. And from 11 to 9, you'd have to subtract 2. So to show the odd numbers. This also would be the same type of equation if the question said 3 consecutive even numbers. You would still include this minus 2 and this plus 2 if you were trying to find the middle even number. And then you solve the equation by simplifying and dividing to get your variable by itself. You use substitution to check your work. And then you can say your answer in a final sentence because it makes sense and it all checks out. The next question, if twice a number is subtracted from 11, the result is 4 more than the number. What is the number? It sounds like a riddle, but it's not too confusing. Twice means double or multiplied by 2, so there'll be multiplication, subtraction as well. The result means equals. 4 more is addition. My variable is the number. I'm trying to find what is this number that makes this true. I'm going to use multiplication, subtraction, and addition based on the keywords in the question. Here's my equation that fits that question. I solve it to get the variable by itself. I get a fraction, and I could also write it as a decimal. And then I use substitution to solve and get my answer. And for this, because I'm using fractions, I need common denominators to be able to add and subtract fractions to get the same answer. So then I say my answer in a sentence format. The next question, this is more like a real world problem when you're shopping. This just talks about how much gummy bears cost, how much Twizzlers cost, and how much that I will get of gummy bears. So you'll notice some keywords. There's 4 more, so that means addition. I'm trying to find how many bags of gummy bears, and I also have bags of Twizzlers as well. I know the cost per unit, and I know the total bill. So I know it will equal $18.90 in total. And I know that when I need to find the price of a number of items, I have to multiply the price per item by the number of items I get. So I know because of that I will be using multiplication and addition to find the total price. When I set up my equation, you'll notice that I multiply the number of gummy bears by 99 cents because it's 99 cents per bag. You'll notice that I put 150 times this because I don't know how many Twizzlers I have, but I do know that there are, however many gummy bears there are 4 less of Twizzlers, or 4 more gummy bears if you see in the sentence here. And that it's 150 per bag of Twizzlers, and the total price is $18.90. So then I simplify, I use distributive property, I combine like terms, I get the variable on one side, the constants on the other, and then I solve for the variable. I know that it's 10 bags. I check it to make sure I'm correct. And when I use substitution, it all checks out. So I know I'm correct. And so my final answer will then be how many bags of gummy bears I have. The last question, I'll just quickly go through this. You can spend some time reading this on your own and understanding it, but it's the exact same idea to get the same answer at the end.